All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive. You ready for this one?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Today, we're going deep on the story of Antonio Gates.
Oh, this should be good.
This guy went from basketball star
Yeah.
to NFL Hall of Famer.
Right.
But get this, he didn't even play college football.
Wow.
Pretty wild, right?
Yeah.
We've got some great stuff to dig into today from people who knew him back when he was at Kent State.
Okay.
So let's set the stage here. Gates was this amazing basketball player at Kent State.
Uh-huh.
He actually led them to their very first MAC regular season championship.
Wow.
That's the Mid-American Conference for any of you who aren't super familiar with college basketball.
Right.
And then get this, he takes them to the Elite Eight of the 2002 NCAA tournament.
That's incredible.
Like, for real,
Yeah.
any basketball fan knows that is a huge deal.
Yeah. Huge.
But what's really wild is that his basketball coach, Stan Heath,
Yeah.
when he found out Gates was being inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, he was absolutely floored.
Really?
He had no idea.
That is crazy to think about. You've got this guy who's coaching him on the court, and he has no clue that he's going to go on to be a Hall of Famer in a totally different sport.
It's pretty amazing, right? I mean, think about it. Usually you hear about athletes trying to make it in basketball after a football career.
Exactly.
Like, going from the gridiron to the court. But this is the complete opposite.
Totally. Yeah. It's really unusual.
And I think what makes it even more interesting is that it wasn't just raw athleticism with Gates.
Yeah.
He had to learn a whole new sport,
Right.
like an entirely different set of skills and strategies.
That's a big transition.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And the fact that he could adapt like that and just excel in this completely foreign environment,
Yeah.
I mean, that's remarkable.
Absolutely. So how did he end up in the NFL?
Well, he signed with the San Diego Chargers back in 2003. Yeah. Undrafted free agent,
Really?
no less.
Wow, what a story.
Yeah, and Kent State's athletic director, Randall Richmond,
Yeah.
he said Gates revolutionized the tight end position.
I can see that, when you think about the traditional tight end, they're primarily blockers.
Mm-hmm.
They catch the short passes when they need to.
Right.
But Gates, he brought this whole different thing, like a basketball player's agility,
Yeah.
wide receiver's hands to the
No,
position.
Totally. He could run those complex routes.
Yeah.
And he created these insane mismatches.
Against those smaller defenders.
Oh, yeah. And
Yeah.
just making these crazy catches in traffic.
He really changed the way the game was played.
He did, for sure. So you'd think, with all that natural talent,
Mm-hmm.
he'd just, walk onto the field and dominate.
Yeah, you would think that.
But, I mean, I guess it's probably not that simple.
Well,
Yeah.
I think it's important to acknowledge all the work he must have put in.
Right.
He had to learn the playbook, the techniques, all the ins and outs of the game.
Sure.
So it wasn't just instinct. It was a lot of dedication
Yeah.
and a willingness to learn a whole new sport.
And it definitely paid off.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the numbers are just insane.
Yeah, what did he end up with?
He holds the record for the most touchdowns by a tight end in NFL history.
Wow.
116 touchdowns
Way.
over his 16-year career.
That's insane.
Pretty amazing, right?
Absolutely. And I actually read somewhere that Coach Heath said he plays football like I play basketball.
Really?
Yeah, I thought that was a great quote.
Yeah, that is really good. I mean, it's such a simple statement, but it kind of says it all,
Really?
Like Gates brought that same fearlessness, that
Mhm.
competitive fire from the court to the field.
Exactly. It wasn't just physical, it was that mental toughness too.
I got it. So back to Kent State for a second.
Yeah,
They are so incredibly proud of their guy.
as they should be.
And, they're planning a huge celebration to honor his achievement.
That's awesome. It's such a great story. It shows the power of believing in yourself, even when you're venturing into something totally new and different.
Yeah, for sure. And it really gets you thinking, right? Like,
Yeah.
are there other skills and experiences that could be surprisingly valuable in seemingly unrelated fields?
I think so. We often limit ourselves by thinking we're only good at one thing.
Yeah, we put ourselves in a box.
Exactly. But if we take a step back and look at what we're really capable of,
Yeah.
we might discover hidden talents and strengths
Right.
that could open up all sorts of new opportunities.
That's a really great point.
Uh-huh.
So what's the big takeaway here? I think Antonio Gates' journey shows us that with talent, adaptability, and the courage to follow your passion, you can achieve some pretty amazing things.
Totally. Even if it means taking a less conventional path.
Exactly. And it leaves us with something to think about. What seemingly unrelated skills do you have that could maybe be applied in a completely different context?
That's a good question.
Yeah, you never know what you might be capable of if you just think outside the box a little bit.
I like that.
All right, everybody, that's another deep dive in the books. Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.
Until then, keep exploring and keep learning.
Definitely.